The most important war you will ever fight isn't on a battlefield. It's inside your own mind. It's a silent, daily conflict where the ammunition isn't bullets but thoughts, and the territory being contested is your peace, your focus, and your very identity. We all recognize the terrain of this inner war, the quiet siege of doubt that infiltrates your confidence before a big presentation, the heavy weight of anxiety that settles on your chest when facing uncertainty, the private moments late at night or early in the morning where you feel the accumulated pressure of responsibilities, expectations, and unspoken fears building like atmospheric pressure before a storm. It can feel relentless, as if you're being tested beyond your designed capacity, pushed toward a breaking point you hoped never to find. But what if this pressure wasn't your enemy? What if these challenges weren't anomalies to be avoided, but were in fact the essential raw materials? The steel, the fire, the anvil, for constructing an unbreakable will. This isn't just positive thinking. This is the ancient tested promise of Stoicism, that through disciplined practice you can deliberately forge a mind so resilient, so structurally sound in its foundations, that no external event, no matter how shocking or painful, can fracture its core integrity. This journey isn't about denial, suppression, or toxic positivity. It's not about pretending the storm isn't real. It's about a fundamental, radical recalibration of where true power resides. It's the deliberate engineering shift from seeking control over the uncontrollable chaos outside, other people, circumstances, outcomes, to cultivating absolute sovereignty within the fortress inside. Your judgments, your values, your responses. If you're tired of feeling like a weather vane spun by every shifting wind of fortune, if you're ready to become the unmovable pillar within the tempest, then you are in the right place. This is a blueprint, not a pep talk. We are going to explore the architectural principles, the daily disciplines, and the philosophical foundations for building that inner citadel. Subscribe to Stoic Mindset Mastery as we embark on a deep, practical dive into the principles that alchemize struggle into strength, pressure into diamonds, and chaos into composed action. Let's begin the construction. The foundation. You are the narrator, not the character in the story. The absolute bedrock of this unbreakable mindset is a single seismic cognitive shift. Your lived reality is not defined by what happens to you, but by what happens between your ears, in the space between stimulus and story. The external event itself, the missed promotion, the critical comment, the financial setback is, in its purest form, neutral data. It is a set of facts. The project was rejected. The person said these words. The market dropped X%. The emotional earthquake, the suffering, the turmoil. These are not generated by the I facts. They are manufactured by the sophisticated, often unconscious narrative factory of your mind. They come from the story you instantly wrap around those facts. This proves I'm not good enough. They're trying to undermine me. My security is vanishing. Think back with clear eyes to your last significant frustration or bout of anger. Isolate the objective events. Now, examine the lavish, dramatic film your mind produced about those events. The Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius, perhaps the most powerful man in the world, spent his nights in his private journal, his meditations, doing precisely this. He wasn't ignoring the burdens of empire, betrayal, or war. He was surgically dissecting his own automatic interpretations of them. "Take away your opinion about it," he wrote, "and the hurt itself is taken away." This is the master key to mental freedom. The practice begins with building a moment of pause between the event and your immersion in the story. When you feel the heat of anger, the cold clutch of disappointment, or the dizzying swirl of fear, halt. Insert a question into the machinery. Am I reacting to the bare event or to the judgment I have attached to it? What story am I telling myself right now? This conscious space between fact and feeling between what is and what you decree it to mean, is where your autonomy is born. It is the birthplace of choice. You are not a passive victim of events washed ashore by life's waves. You are an active sculptor of your perceptions. Every time you identify and question your automatic narrative, you chip away at the prison of reactive emotion and carve out more room for a chosen response. This is the first and most crucial stone in your foundation. Transforming the acid of rejection into alchemical fuel. Now, let's apply this foundational principle to one of life's most potent and common corrosive agents: rejection. It burns with a unique personal acid. It feels like a verdict on your worth, your ideas, your very essence. The primitive limbic instinct is to retreat, to shrink your ambitions, to believe the no is a final measurement of your inadequacy. But what if you recalibrated your lens to see rejection not as a corrosive, but as a necessary, refining friction? Consider the process of any great inventor, artist, or innovator. Thomas Edison didn't experience 10,000 failures. He discovered 10,000 ways that did not lead to a working light bulb. Each rejected prototype wasn't a stamp reading "not good enough." It was a vital, priceless data point. It eliminated a path, clarified a problem, and guided the relentless focus toward a solution that would work. Rejection operates on this exact same principle of intelligent iteration. Every no, whether from a potential partner, an employer, a publisher, or a critic, is primarily a directional signal. It is feedback, not a full stop. It whispers, or sometimes shouts, "This specific approach, with this specific presentation, to this specific audience at this specific time did not connect. Adjust your aim." When you begin to metabolize rejection as information instead of indictment, a profound transformation occurs. You stop being fragile, shattered by every setback. You move beyond resilience, simply bouncing back. You become anti-fragile, a concept explored by modern thinker Nassim Taleb, inspired by these ancient ideas. Anti-fragile systems gain strength, vitality, and capability from stressors, shocks, and volatility. Just as muscles tear and rebuild stronger, just as immune systems develop antibodies after exposure, your mindset can use the shock of rejection to fortify its resolve, sharpen its strategy, and expand its creative capacity. This is the mindset that built empires from ruins, created masterpieces from criticism, and changed history by persisting where others conceded. It is not a magic trait of the extraordinary. It is a learnable discipline of perception. It can build you. The Forge, building resilience through voluntary discomfort. This anti-fragility doesn't emerge from wishing. It is a skill actively forged in the furnace of voluntary difficulty. We live in a world marketed on comfort, endless convenience, distraction on demand, the path of least resistance. Yet comfort, when it becomes the default, is a weakening agent. It atrophies our capacity to endure. The Stoics understood this danger profoundly. They didn't wait for tragedy to test them. They engaged in voluntary hardship, a practice called ascesis. Seneca would periodically practice poverty, sleeping on a hard bed and wearing simple clothes despite his wealth. He wrote, "Set aside a certain number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, 'Is this the condition that I feared?'" This was not self-punishment, it was psychological and spiritual inoculation. By voluntarily choosing smaller, controlled storms, discomforts they could initiate and end, they trained their faculties for the inevitable. Involuntary hurricanes of fate, loss, illness, betrayal, political turmoil. You can and must apply this same forge to your modern life. The mechanism is elegant. Systematically seek out small, manageable doses of the very sensations you fear or avoid. Take the full cold shower for the final 60 seconds. Initiate that difficult, honest conversation you've been postponing. Wake up an hour earlier, not to do more work, but to sit in silent contemplation. Choose the healthy meal when you crave junk food. Walk the longer, steeper route. In each of these conscious, chosen acts, you perform a powerful neural ritual. You send a triumphant message to your deepest psyche. I am capable. My will is stronger than my whim. I can not only handle discomfort, I can invite it and remain centered. This process builds a documented internal reservoir of proof, a memory bank not of theoretical philosophy, but of lived, embodied evidence of your own strength. When involuntary hardship strikes, the sudden job loss, the health scare, the personal betrayal, you are not merely hoping you'll be strong enough. You can recall viscerally a dozen recent moments where you already were. You have a track record of endurance written in your own nervous system. The sovereignty audit, the Stoic divide between control and concern. Of course, life will inevitably hurl events and circumstances at you that lie utterly, completely outside the domain of your control. This understanding leads us to the critical, life-altering Stoic division of mental territory, best articulated by Epictetus, the slave-turned-philosopher. Some things are within our power, while others are not. Within our power are opinion, motivation, desire, aversion, and in a word, whatever is of our own doing. Not within our power are our body, our property, reputation, office, and in a word, whatever is not of our own doing. Let's map this clearly. In the realm of the uncontrollable externals, other people's thoughts, opinions, and actions, market fluctuations and economic tides, traffic and weather, the past, the eventual outcome of most complex endeavors, in the sovereign domain of your internal control, your own opinions, judgments, and interpretations, your values and chosen principles, your efforts, energy, and focus, your voluntary actions and chosen responses. Here is the central source of most modern anxiety, frustration, and exhaustion. We chronically, habitually, pour our finite mental and emotional energy, our concern, our worry, our attempts to control, into the first category, while neglecting the cultivation of the second. We try to manage other people's perceptions, force specific outcomes, and rewrite past events, all while our own internal domain, the only place where we are truly the absolute authority, falls into disorder. The daily practice is what I call the sovereignty audit. The moment you feel tension, anger, or worry rising, pause, breathe. Ask with ruthless clarity, of all the factors in this situation, what can I actually truly control? Your colleague's rude email tone? No. Your boss's unpredictable mood? No. The volatile stock market? No. Your own thoughtful, unhurried, and principled response? Absolutely. The care and focus you put into your own work today? Yes. The boundaries you choose to set? Yes. The story you choose to believe about the event? Entirely. By relentlessly, even obsessively focusing your effort, discipline, and attention only on your own arena of action, your internal kingdom, you accomplish something revolutionary. You cease to be a frantic, exhausted pawn in 1,000 external games you cannot possibly win. You withdraw from contests you didn't choose. You become the calm, purposeful author of your own conduct, which is the only game where your input guarantees an outcome. This focus is the ultimate source of peace, the pause of power, mastering the gap between trigger and response. This sovereign focus demands a commander's level of self-control, not the brittle, repressive control that bottles up emotion until it explodes, but the masterful, fluid control of a martial artist, using the energy of the attack. redirecting it with precision. The critical battlefield is the sliver of time, the psychological gap between a triggering event and your ingrained response. This gap is your zone of supreme power. In that gap, a binary choice exists: to be hijacked by ancient limbic system impulse, lashing out, fleeing mentally, freezing in fear, or to deploy a conscious, values-driven action, stating a boundary, asking a clarifying question, choosing to disengage with dignity. This crucial gap is not naturally wide. For most of us, it's a hair trigger. The practice is to cultivate it, to dilate it through intentional training. It is built through the deliberate insertion of pause, one deep, diaphragmatic breath, a physiological reset that cues the nervous system, a moment of literal silence counting to 3, the deployment of a targeted question. What would my most principled, integrated self do here? What action aligns with the person I am committed to becoming? This is the moment where character is built not in theory, but in real time. It's the difference between snapping in destructive anger and firmly stating, "I won't be spoken to that way. Let's discuss this when we're both calmer." It's the difference between spiraling into anxiety and writing down the one next step you can take. By thousands of repetitions of this pause and choose mechanism, you are not suppressing emotion. You are building a more sophisticated processing system around it. You are constructing mental architecture with shock absorbers and reinforced beams, so it doesn't collapse under pressure, but rather absorbs and distributes the load. Your power was never in having a life without storms. It is in the practiced, steady way you choose to stand within them. The compass, your North Star of purpose. A mind fortified with control and resilience can still be a powerful instrument pointed at nothing, or worse, at trivialities. An unbreakable mind also needs direction, a why that is so much bigger than today's temporary trouble that it contextualizes all friction as mere mileage on a meaningful journey. This is your long-term character project. It transcends goals like get a promotion or save X money. It asks, what are the qualities of the person I am committed to building? Is it integrity, unshakable compassion, relentless curiosity, creative courage? What is the legacy of my actions, not in terms of monuments, but in the subtle imprint I leave on the people around me and the quality of my own soul? When you anchor your daily existence to a purpose that spans decades, the patient crafting of a wise, kind, and courageous character, the daily frustrations and setbacks undergo a radical perspective shift. The rude customer, the bureaucratic delay, the minor failure, they begin to look like what they truly are: minor weather patterns on a long ocean crossing. They are rain and wind, yes, but they are not the destination. They cannot cause a permanent detour because your navigation is set by the fixed stars of your purpose, not the changing clouds of circumstance. This long-term perspective acts as your ultimate psychological stabilizer. It turns chaotic noise into meaningful context. The difficult person becomes a test of your patience. The failure becomes a lesson for your wisdom. The success becomes a responsibility for your humility. Every event gets metabolized as fuel for your overarching character project. You are no longer just getting through the day, you are practicing for the life you are building. The liberation, executing the death of perfectionism. All this disciplined work leads to a final, profoundly liberating release. The strategic assassination of perfectionism. The relentless pursuit of the flawless result, the immaculate performance, the zero-defect life, is not a virtue. It is the enemy of the courageous effort. It is the chief paralyzing agent of modern potential. We must see perfectionism for what it truly is: fear in an elaborate costume. It is the fear of judgment. If it's not perfect, they'll see I'm a fraud. It is the fear of inadequacy. My best won't be good enough. It is the fear of the messy, uncertain reality of genuine effort. The Stoic operative aims for excellence in action and effort, not for perfection in outcome. He knows with calm acceptance that the world is inherently messy, other people are unpredictable, and his control is limited to his own input. Therefore, his focus shifts entirely to what he can command, giving his best, most virtuous effort with the materials, time, and knowledge he has in this moment. He values the integrity and courage of the attempt far more than the illusion of a perfect result. This is why done is better than perfect is a Stoic victory cry. A good, honest plan executed with commitment today will always outpace a flawless theoretical plan you're still drafting, editing, and fearing next month or next year. Embrace the good enough that actually moves the ship forward. In writing, it's the published draft. In fitness, it's the completed workout, not the ideal one. In relationships, it's the honest conversation, not the scripted one. This is how you break the paralysis. You trade the immobilizing fantasy of a perfect future for the empowering reality of tangible progress in the present. Progress, not perfection, is the only reliable engine of a resilient, evolving, and truly lived life. The completed citadel, a life of non-negotiable peace. This, then, is the complete architecture, a mind consciously built on the bedrock of perceptual mastery, deliberately hardened in the forge of voluntary challenge, unwaveringly focused on its own sovereign field of action, calmly directed by a purposeful North Star and joyfully liberated from the paralyzing prison of perfectionism. This mind does not hope to be unbreakable. It knows it is because it has been engineered piece by piece through 10,000 daily practices of perception, choice, and effort. It has been stress-tested by small, self-generated storms, so it recognizes the texture of a larger one. The world will never stop throwing its chaos, its randomness, its beauty, and its brutality at you. This is the nature of existence. But you will have constructed an inner citadel so formidable, so well-designed, and so familiar to you that the external chaos simply echoes against its walls. It becomes background noise to the steady, purposeful activity within. Your peace, your focus, your integrity, these become non-negotiable facts of your interior landscape, not fluctuating conditions dependent on external weather. Your strength is no longer a question. It is a documented, lived conclusion. The construction starts now, not tomorrow when you feel more ready, not on Monday, not when things calm down. The perfect time is the stubborn, imperfect present. Today, pick one principle from this blueprint, just one. For the next week, become a disciplined observer of your narratives, or choose one small voluntary discomfort and greet it as a friend, or perform 3 daily sovereignty audits when you feel stress. Master your next perception. Choose one small friction. Reclaim your focus from one external obsession. Your unbreakable mind is not a distant fantasy. It is a structure waiting to be built, and you are the only architect and laborer who can do the work. The tools are in your hands. The materials are your daily experiences. The blueprint is laid out before you. If this path of disciplined self-creation calls to you, if you are ready to move from being shaped by the world to shaping your world from within, then please like this video. It helps guide other serious seekers to this material, and subscribe to Stoic Mindset Mastery. We will continue to break down the principles, practices, and philosophies that turn ancient wisdom into modern mastery. Your journey toward unbreakable strength does not end here. It begins.